Hi, South Brunswick. It's Miss Henderson, the Student Assistance Counselor at the high school and at both middle schools. So for the virtual mental health fair, I'm going to be doing some yoga poses. I am a registered yoga teacher, and I've put together a sequence of 13 different poses that are meant to help alleviate any stress, anxiety, or depression that we feel in the body. So please follow along with me. I will be holding each pose for about 1 to 2 minutes, and I'll be walking you through the benefits of each pose as I do them. So for anyone who's new to yoga, you can use a yoga mat. You can also use any type of rug as long as it doesn't slip on the floor. So we're going to get started in our first pose. So I'm going to move back so you can see me better. So this first pose is called Sukhasana, otherwise known as easy pose. So the way we start is we take both legs and we cross them, making sure that our shins are close together. We want to make sure our knees are close down toward the mat. So we're going to take the palms, gently place them down onto the thighs, and I like to slowly start to bring my shoulders up to my ears and relax them down the back, so the heart is nice and open. So slowly begin to close the eyes, relax the face, and relax the jaw. This pose is meant to calm the mind, calm the body, and really help you to feel focused in the moment. So I start each class in this pose, and I use it for meditation. You want to slowly start to lengthen out through the spine and just pretend that there's a string slowly pressing the crown of the head all the way up toward the ceiling. So the spine is nice and long. Feeling the sit bones, gently starting to open up the heart, the shoulders, the chest, the back. Again, relax the face. We're just going to take 3 cleansing breaths in this pose. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh out the mouth. Again, inhale, feeling the chest rise. Exhale, letting the chest fall. One more just like that. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out the mouth. I like to start each class by taking the palms to heart center, gently bowing down your head. Maybe setting an intention that you'd like for today's practice. Maybe it's giving yourself some extra love and some kindness during this difficult time. Maybe it's listening to what your body needs in this very moment. So whatever it is, gently seal your intention again by bowing your head, closing the eyes, and slowly start to bring the palms back down onto the thighs and open up the eyes. So that is Sukhasana. So you can come to this pose. Again, it calms the brain and it strengthens the back. So our next pose is called Baddha Konasana, which is otherwise known as butterfly pose. So we're going to take the soles of the feet together here. You're going to gently bring the heels close to the inner thighs. And you may need to use a pillow underneath the legs here. Otherwise, you're going to take the fingers and gently wrap them around the toes. We're sitting up nice and tall, so we want a flat back. We don't want to curve the spine. We want to keep everything nice and lifted. As you inhale, gently start to look up, so lift that chin. And slowly lead with the chest, keeping the elbows bent by your sides. Begin to fold. So this may be enough for you. If you want to strengthen the pose, you can slowly start to walk your palms out and gently bow the head down. So we're going to take about 3 breaths in this pose. So this pose helps with fatigue, depression, and anxiety. It helps to bring movement back into the legs. And maybe for an option to get a little side stretch, we can walk those palms over to the left side. So now we're getting the right side of the body, the lower back. And gently inhale as you come back to center. Exhale over to the left. And coming back to center. So if your palms are still on the mat, gently walk them down onto the legs and slowly roll up just as you went down. So from here, I'm going to transition into what's called cat and cow pose. So I'm going to be coming onto my mat. You're going to take the knees and you're going to slowly untuck those back toes. You're going to place those palms right underneath your shoulders. So pressing into that index and ring finger. We're gently going to slowly start to bow and gaze up toward the ceiling, keeping that chest open, stretching out the abdominals. So this is called cow pose. As you exhale, we're going to gently tuck the chin toward the chest and curve the spine all the way up, coming into a cat pose. So I like to take about 3 rounds at my own pace. Option again is to close the eyes to really feel the energy move through the body. So inhale forward for cow. Exhale back for cat. Inhale forward. Exhale back. One last round. Inhale forward. And exhale back. So come back to a neutral spine. Again, those cat-cows are great if you have any sore muscles in the abdominals. It's great to lengthen out through the spine. It calms the brain and it also relieves any stress in the body. So from here, we're going to come into child's pose. So this is one of my favorite poses. We're going to slowly start to open up the knees as wide as the mat. Bring those big toes to touch. We're going to begin to walk out those hands and sink down. The goal here is to try to get that forehead onto the mat. Breathing in here. Take 3 rounds of breath. Again, this pose calms the brain and helps to relax everything in the body, opening up the hips. For a deeper stretch, you can slowly start to walk those palms out a little bit further and really feel it down the back. Gently inhale and walk both hands over to the left side, pressing those palms down inside the floor. Again, bringing that forehead close to the mat. And gently come back to center. We'll take the other side to even out the body. Gently lifting the head. We'll come back to center, transitioning to our next pose, which is called puppy pose. So we're going to come onto the knees again, stacking those hands right underneath the shoulders, just as we did. So from here, we're going to slowly come down onto our forearms. Gently, just as we do in child's pose, slowly start to sink back into those heels and bringing that head, crown of the head, close down toward the mat. So this is getting a little bit deeper into the back here. And the benefits is that it lengthens the spine and calms the entire mind. So slowly start to press into those palms, keeping those forearms on the mat. 3 rounds of breath. And gently start to press into those palms as you lift back up. So from here, we're going to come into what's called a dolphin plank. So this is also known as a forearm plank. We'll We'll start in a high plank, so we're going to walk our hands. And again, just as we've been doing them, stacking them right underneath the shoulders. This time we're going to extend both legs. So you want those heels to be pressing toward the wall. And from here, we're going to come down onto our forearms. So slowly start to press into those palms, extending and lengthening through the spine. Core is nice and tight here. So this pose helps to relieve stress, and it's said to help with some depression. It re-energizes the body. You're using your core, you're using your legs. We'll hold for 2 more breaths here. Breathing into the space that you're creating as you inhale. Gently float those knees down, and we'll press back to child's pose again. So again, big toes touch. Knees are widening up. Forehead is pressing down toward your mat. And when you're ready, we're going to come back to that high plank and then come into our first downward facing dog. So slowly, again, planting those hands right underneath the shoulders. We're going to really engage those toes here. So when you're ready, you're going to extend those legs nice and long. So you're in that high plank. From here, you're going to shift your hips up and come into downward facing dog. So you're piking up, feeling those legs lengthening. We're just going to begin to pedal out the heels. So you're going to bend one knee at a time, and then the other knee. This is my absolute favorite yoga pose. It's a full body pose, so you can feel all the different muscles working on your back, your arms, your triceps, your legs, your calves. It stretches through the hamstrings and really helps to invigorate the body, providing energy everywhere. So from here, we're just going to nod our head yes and shake our head no, relieving any tension at all in the neck and the shoulders. This pose also improves digestion and relieves headaches, insomnia, and any type of back pain. So we'll hold this for 2 more rounds of breath before we come down into Cobra pose. Inhale through your nose and exhale through the nose. This time as you inhale, we're going to come back to that high plank. So you're going to shift your weight forward, and we're going to come all the way down onto the mat. Untucking those back toes. We're going to take those elbows and fully put them by the side. So you want to press into your palms. And we're going to gently press all the way up straight, straightening those arms. Cobra pose. So you're gazing up toward that ceiling, feeling the lower back starting to stretch. Breathe here as you inhale. And exhale. One last breath as you inhale. And exhale. Come all the way down onto your mat. And we're just going to make a little pillow for our head. We're going to take our legs and just windshield wiper left to right, relaxing that low back, protecting that sacrum. 2 more sets here. And we're going to come back into that same pose. So Cobra pose improves the posture. It helps to relieve depression, fatigue, and sciatica pain in the leg. So we're going to come back into that high plank. So press right up. And when you're ready, inhale, come all the way down. Exhale, press into those arms and reach up. Option here is to come completely off the mat. So you want to bring those thighs off the mat. Coming into upward facing dog. So this is a bigger stretch in the back. And when you're ready, slowly come all the way down one last time to your mat. And just windshield wiper the feet left to right. So we're going to come all the way back onto the knees. And we're going to come into some seated poses. So our first pose is a seated forward fold. So slowly start to flex both feet. You want to bring those hands by your sides, lift up gently, And just make sure both sit bones are on the mat. So this is a forward fold. Again, it reduces fatigue, anxiety, relieves headaches in the body. So we're going to inhale, making sure those feet are flexed. We're going to reach our hands all the way up. Just as we've been doing, we're going to lead with the chest and forward fold. So option is to bring those hands onto those feet or maybe your shins. It's okay to not be able to reach your toes. It's not about that. It's just about flexibility in the body. So you have to go to what your comfort zone is. So for me, since I've been practicing for 7 years, I can easily reach the toes, but that doesn't mean that you have to. So option here is for those who can easily access the toes, you're going to take your 2 peace fingers for a yogi toe lock. So you're going to grab a hold onto those big toes, slowly fold. Holding this pose for 3 breaths. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. And slowly inhale. Begin to walk those palms all the way back up the legs. Coming to, again, a seated position. So from here, we're going to come back onto our mat. So I like to face the top of the mat just so I can show you. We are gently going to come into what's called a forward fold. So you want those big toes to touch. I'll face this way for you. The heels are slightly apart. When you're ready, inhale, sweep your hands up, and exhale, just as we've been doing, lead with the chest and forward fold. Option here is to bring the hands to the opposite elbows and slowly rock side to side. This is releasing any tension in the low back. Release those hands and gently come onto the shins with the palms. We're going to come halfway for a flat back. So again, you want that back to be flat. You don't want to curve it. You want it to be flat. Exhale, fold. Maybe this time you can come a little bit deeper. Option again is to take those hands underneath those toes for a deeper stretch. 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to take the hands onto the hips and slowly roll up. So I'm going to step outside of the mat. So from the mat, gently walk both feet outside. Toes are both facing that same direction. We're going to stay with our hands on our hips. And just as we've been doing, inhale, gently start to look up. Exhale, forward fold. So we're coming into a wide-legged fold. So we're stopping halfway, noticing how the back is flat. We're not curving that spine. We're keeping it nice and flat. Breathe here. This may be enough for you. If you want to go deeper, we're going to walk the hands down onto the mat. And we're going to take a little twist. So we're going to plant our right hand into the center and gently twist that left palm toward the ceiling. So we're gazing up toward that thumb. Inhale. Exhale, release. Take the other side. Plant that left palm as you inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. One last time, we're going to walk both palms onto those ankles and really just start to stretch. Maybe you begin to bend those elbows. The goal here is to try to get that crown of the head toward your mat. And gently begin to bring those hands onto the hips. With a slight bend in our knees, we're going to slowly start to come back. Heel toe those feet in. And from here, inhale, rise, exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, come halfway again for that flat back. And this time we're going to bring our hands and knees onto the mat, taking one last child's pose. So spreading those knees as wide as the mat, gently bring those toes to touch, and slowly come back. One breath here. And when you're ready, we're going to come down onto our back. So we have 2 more poses before we end our session. So from here, we're slowly going to scoot all the way down onto our mat. And I like to just bring those knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug and slowly rock side to side. So we're going to come into bridge pose, which is very good for your legs. You're going to be using the legs to lift up the body. We're stretching out the back. The chest is nice and open here. So there's a few options that you can do depending on your comfort level. So not only does this pose calm the brain, but again, it alleviates stress. And it helps to really reduce anxiety that we're holding into our body. So we're going to take those palms and gently just press them down by the sides. So you want to make sure you're pressing all of your weight into those heels. So gently start to walk those heels in toward the body. And maybe you lift up all 10 toes off the mat to really start to engage those legs. When you're ready, inhale. You're going to press into your palms and heels at the same time, slowly lifting up. You want to keep those knees in toward each other. You don't want to go out with the knees. You want to keep them in, holding for a few breaths. So this is the first option. The second option, you are going to take those hands behind you. So just as we've been doing, pressing into those palms and heels, lift up. But from here, you're going to walk those palms, interlace those fingers, and try to open up the chest a little bit deeper. Keeping that neck stabilized, keeping that chin toward the chest. Breathe here as you inhale. And exhale for 3 rounds of breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Slowly start to bring those palms onto the mat again. And come down 1 vertebrae at a time. Slowly down onto your mat. And we're just going to take a twist here. So bringing those knees into the chest. Gently start to roll those knees to the left side. And we're going to take our hands to a T and just gently gaze over to the right side. This is called recline twist. This helps with digestion. Helps again to relieve stress in the body. Maybe you notice the left and the right sides to see what is holding on to today. Maybe it's stress. Maybe it's sore from a workout you've been doing. But being present and mindful is just noticing, letting that thought come, noticing the thought, and gently letting that thought go away. So inhale, we're going to bring both knees back to center. Exhale, we'll take it to the other side. So now our head and chest are turning toward the left. Maybe you close the eyes. Breathe. Last breath here as you inhale. And exhale, we'll come back down to center. So we're coming to our last pose, which is called corpse pose. So from here, we're going to just gently lay all the way down onto our backs, closing the eyes. And this pose is meant to really help to calm everything. It's the hardest pose, I think, in yoga because you have to relax. You're forced to close your eyes and let go of anything you've been holding on to. So from here, we're going to gently come down on our backs, lengthening out through the legs, nice and long. I like to flip my palms up toward the ceiling and just close the eyes. Just as we did in the beginning of class, relaxing that face. Relax the jaw. Noticing your breath again as you inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Inhale through through the nose. And exhale. So challenging yourself to completely let go, fully relaxing every muscle in the body. Checking from your toes to your ankles, shins to your knees, hamstrings to your thighs, hips to your abdominals, feeling the ribs and the space that you've created with your breath, feeling the heart and the chest, the shoulders down the back, the triceps to the forearms, the palms all the way to your fingers. And to begin again, bringing movement back, slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Gently start to reach those hands all the way behind you like you're just waking up. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly bend those knees into the chest and roll over to the right side. So I like to push myself up, and we'll come to the top of the mat just as we started class. So we are going to come back to Sukhasana, easy pose, and close the eyes as you begin to bring those palms again onto the thighs. We'll take one last cleansing breath together as you inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh out the mouth. The light within me bows down to the light within all of you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste. And I hope you guys enjoyed our yoga sequence today. If you have any questions, you can email me. I'll put my contact info in with this video. Thank you so much.